Hi there, this is Bobby from Ragged Poet, finishing up 31 Days of Tarot 2017. It's February now, but I'm going to finish it anyway. I got up to I think I finished day 24 and now I'm on day 25. And the question is, if you could read the tarot for 5 famous people, historical, alive, or past, or fictional characters, who would it be and why? There's probably hundreds and thousands, not hundreds and thousands. There's a lot I've forgotten, but my list is Patti Smith, who's the godmother of punk. She's incredible. She still sounds and looks as amazing as she did when I was a kid. She's been my heroine forever, and I just would so love to read tarot for her. She's just awesome and down to earth, and I'd get to meet her, and she's a poet, and I would so definitely love to read for Patti. So Patti Smith, Snapey, Severus Snape, out of Harry Potter, because he's just awesome and wonderful and cool, and I love him. I really like him. He's my favourite character, and I like his spookiness, and it might be a bit creepy, like a bit scary. He'd have that headmaster's voice kind of thing and that look in his eye, but no, I really would love to do that. Bob Dylan, yep, again, lifelong fan. I would like to have read tarot for Bob Dylan, how he was when he made the movie Hearts of Fire years ago, when I was a teenager, I think. Or it might have been in my 20s, early 20s. I have met him, but I've never read tarot for him. Neil Young. I love Neil Young. Again, I've always loved him. I love his lyrics. Same with Leonard Cohen. So I'd like to read for Neil Young. Just, I don't know, someone I've always kind of related to, even though he was a rock star or singer. I've just always kind of related to him. And I'd like to read tarot for Tom Waits and Iggy Pop in the cafe at the table that they sit at in the movie Coffee and Cigarettes by Jim Jarmusch. I would love to be in that place. I want to go to that cafe and sit with those guys, drink coffee, smoke cigarettes, and read their tarot. So there you go. That was a bit of fun. That was question 25. Question 26, what's been the best piece of advice you've been given about working with tarot? And that was by a lady from Canada, and she had a YouTube channel for a while, but we were talking about this on a forum, and she said, have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, and trust your intuition. And we all get so many doubts as readers and things, I think, and I mean, apart from I've been reading tarot a long time, but I still have this, like, I don't trust my intuition. I don't say what comes into my head, and you should. I think you really, really should do that, because that is what it's about for me. It's about the intuition. Knowing the cards and everything is good, but they all have, like, they have their story, but then the intuition adds, like, the links that put the cards together and how it relates to that person. It just makes it all come together somehow, and I think that's the biggest and best piece of advice I've been given. So that was 26. 27, what's the tarot spread that you're working with right now? Well, I've been working with it for a while. It's one of my favourite tarot spreads ever, and I call it the ladder, or stepping stones. And basically you have a card. See, let's get this little deck out. I'll get my Deviant Moon deck out because it's smaller. You just deal out, this is my original bordered, not borderless, Deviant Moon deck, which I trimmed down and blackened the edges, and it's just so cute and awesome. Neat, look at it, it's beautiful. So say we, I'll just do a bit more shuffling. Ignore all the cards in the background. So I take one card, and this is where I'm at now. So here we've got like the Six of Cups. I then take another card. Sometimes I take the first card from the bottom of the deck and the last card from the top, but other times I just take them all cut and I take the next card, and this is where I want to be. That's kind of funny, really. But I don't actually want to be at the Nine of Swords, but maybe I want to conquer that feeling of the Nine of Swords. And then I just start drawing cards to see how I need to get there. So I've got the Six of Cups, and the next one there I've drawn is the Eight of Wands. So I've got to clear things out of the way so I can see where I'm going, kind of thing. And because it's quite a fast card, that means that the first step of the journey should be quite quick. And then we've got the Page of Swords, so a bit of intellect and thought needs to go into that. Beginning a new thought process, possibly. What have we got here? I'm going to put that Four of Pentacles, which is about kind of stability, but I think it's also like being afraid of losing what you've got and getting maybe a bit stagnant, which can happen, I think, if people are too worried about material things. And so you go on, and you've got the Star, which would show you're going in the right direction, and fortune follows you. So I keep doing that until I think I've got enough cards and I know where I'm at and how I'm going to get to this place I want to be, which normally wouldn't be the Nine of Swords. So again, that's my favourite spread. I don't know where I got it from. I've been doing it for a long time, but I call it the stepping stones or the ladder. I've got a lot of other spreads too. I actually write my own spreads. There's one I made for, which they're mostly on Eclectic Tarot, but I made one called Breeds or Brigid spread, which is actually, well, in the Northern Hemisphere it would be some Brigid's Day today or Candlemas, but I always have trouble separating her from February, so I celebrate. She's my goddess, my kind of patron goddess, so I celebrate her day in February, and sort of again in August when we have Imuk, because at the moment it's Lunar here, so we're at the opposite end of the year. And it's kind of hard when you've lived in the way all of your life to kind of turn everything upside down, even like 12 years down the line. So, yeah, so I've written quite a few spreads. And when I do them, I try and make them apply to both hemispheres because I'm very conscious of that, having lived in both hemispheres. But they are all on Eclectic Tarot under their spreads. I've got the copy of them somewhere in Evernote, I think, but I'm not quite sure where they are. Hang on now. So I found Brigid's spread, and basically it's a 3-card spread, and the first question is, what fire am I tending this season? The second one is, what is the poetry in my life right now? Because Breed was a goddess of poetry and words. And the third question was, what wisdom do I need to help heal my life right now? Something like that. So that's the spread question finished. I'll put links to my spreads on Eclectic Tarot down below. If anyway you're interested, you can go and have a look at them for yourself. The ones I wrote myself. So that was 27. 28, your favourite tarot reading accessories, incense, candles, etc. Basically, how do you set the mood? Oh, this is sort of a bit like the ritual question, I guess, but I usually have a cloth or somewhere to put my cards down. I don't like, because I'm kind of, you know, I don't want energy of different things, especially if I'm out in my own home. I don't worry, I put them on the bed or anywhere, really, as long as it's clean. But I don't, when I'm out, I like them to be on a cloth or something. So I take them wrapped in a cloth, or I make bags with a built-in 3-card spread cloth that I designed a few years ago. I sell in my shop. So a cloth, candles, yeah, I always like candles, and incense. I've got lots of candles going, as you can see. I have a few random stones, not always random, but there's always certain stones lying around, or pieces of driftwood. And sometimes I'll pick up like certain stones I want for that reading. I have this bowl I created, which I sometimes, if it's a 1-card reading or something, I've made this out of loads and loads of little tiny crystals, and I have a tea light in it, and I put my card in there if I'm meditating or something like on a card, And I use them as a kind of stand. This is just a new moon in Aquarius, so I haven't changed yet because I've been away from the Spirit to the Loon deck. But this is a nice pottery bowl that I fill with crystals, and so that's my kind of tarot card stand. And then I've got these guys. Snapey. This is one of these bobbleheady things. I'm not sure what you call them. And Tim the Enchanter. They kind of help the vibe of my reading sometimes, you know. Give it a bit of a pow. Similarly, I've got my little deck guardian here. My little frog prince. I have a pond outside full of frogs. None of them ever turned into a prince. But I kind of like that guy. What else do I have? Yeah, I use this book with cards. Sometimes I'll just open a page to go with the reading, this oracle book, and see what comes out. And tea. I have tea with my, when I read tarot, I need tea. This is my tarot reading mug because it's spill proof supposedly, and I use it by the computer too, and it's got an infuser so you can actually make teas in it. I've got oh yum, I've got this tea in it called Wise Woman, and I can't remember where I got it from, and I've nearly run out, but it's so good. It's just a herbal, it's one of the few herbal teas I like. I don't like fruit teas like those fake raspberry and strawberry and yuck. But real herbal teas I love, and this one's divine. I would have to see if the ingredients are on the bag so I can make my own. So that's about it really for accessories and my intuition. But the mood's got to be right, you know. I have to be in the right mood. If I'm not in the right mood, I can't do it. I prefer rainy days, and I prefer dark. I'd like the light to be dim, but I like that anyway. Generally, I'm a wintry, dark kind of person. So dark nights are a really good accessory to reading the tarot. Full moon's great, you know, bring it on. So that was 28. So 29, the tarot deck you get stuck on gives you nothing in the reading right now, but you aren't giving up on it just yet. That would probably be at the moment the Fountain Tarot, which was given to me as a gift by my friend Artsy in the UK earlier this year. And it's beautiful. The box is beautiful. I love the shimmeriness of it. I love the guidebook. I love the cardstock. I love the gilded edges, but I like how the guidebook's shiny. But it kind of leaves me cold. I mean, look at the Hermit card. That's probably my favourite card in the deck. I absolutely love that card. But I don't know. The images at the moment, and it's a kind of very cold, wintry feeling deck, so I should actually really love it. But it's not working. I really don't like the Hangman. I don't like his nappy. Don't like this guy. But there's a few cards like that. I think he's awesome, the Four of Cups. I'm a bit worried about this. Looks like to me like Joni Mitchell, but she doesn't have a neck. So, I don't know. Some of the cards are just gorgeous. I love the cleanness of this. These ones are a bit tothy. It's a bit confusing, the deck, because it's got some very abstract and some quite pictorial, so it confuses me. I do like the High Priestess. So yeah, and the Six of Swords, which is my card of January. And the Fountain's a lovely card. I love decks with extra cards, but again, it's just hard. It's like pretty difficult. Look at Death. Death's amazing. But I think maybe because it's got an eclectic style. I mean, it does. You can tell it's all the same artist, and it is very well done. It's just I don't know, the mishmash, and I don't know, leaves me cold. But I'm not giving up because there's so many cards in it that I love. Actually, and the other one that might faze me at the moment, I've been given it and I've looked at it twice and really not liked it, is the Dreams of Gaia, which seems to be either you love it or you hate it. The artwork, although I can appreciate it, really does nothing for me. I find it quite a lot like Koro Marchetti's art. Again, I think he's an amazing person, wonderful artist, but the artwork itself does nothing for me. So, yeah, I don't have any of his decks anymore. I used to. I might have one Lenormand deck of his. But, The Dreams of Gaia. I think if I looked at it as an oracle deck, which is how I'm going to approach it, and then Lindenherz is doing uh what do you call it, a challenge on Instagram this month, which I'm going to try and follow and try and partake in. She did an introduction to it on her YouTube channel, which again I'll link that below. But I think she's actually doing it on Instagram, so I'm going to look at that because it sounds really good. But I think if it was, it's a whole system of its own. So I can't actually see it as a tarot deck, and maybe that will help me. To me, it's totally not tarot. But so they're the ones I get stuck on. And the next question: favorite tarot card or meaning or both? Well, I've got 3 cards I always look at first when I get a new deck, and those cards, I'll start with the Deviant Moon because you all know it's my baby. Those cards are the Moon, the Tower, not necessarily in this order, the Moon, and the 5 of Pentacles. These are my 3 favourite cards in the deck. I don't know why, but I mean, I'm probably the Moon. I'm ruled by my ruling planet. I love towers. I've had a fascination for towers all my life. I've built a tower. I just love towers. My Rapunzel complex, maybe. But the 5 of Pentacles, I think maybe it's because it's outside in the cold in the winter. So I went through a few of my decks and found my favourite versions of these cards. So these are the Deviant Moon. I love the Tower here because I like his characters. And that's from the Deviant Moon. These are from the Trionfi della Luna, which I've only recently acquired. And there's what I love about this deck, I think the Moon is fantastic. Look at that. With a sleeping little demon creature, but he looks so peaceful and happy. While the Moon's thinking, ha ha ha, you know, we're going to play tricks on you, buddy. You'll probably wake up with 3 heads or something. So I love that one. And there's an extra tower card. So we've got La Tour, which is the tower, and then we've got Il Fulmini, which is the kind of lightning. And I love this. I just absolutely love that there's this extra tower card and it's lightning, because that's kind of what it is, isn't it? So I think they're fantastic. And then, of course, because it's a Marseille deck, the 5 of Pentacles on this one is pretty basic, and it's fine. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm only just starting to learn about the Marseille. So then we've got the Green Witch. And talking of that tower card, the Il Fulmini, the lightning card in Trionfi della Luna, the tower in the Green Witch Tarot is called the Wild Hunt, and it's about the thunder and storm that rages through the night and gets rid of everything that's weak and not needed and pushes it out of the way and brings light in, like, you know, blessed are the cracked, for it's those that let in the light, and helps you to really make changes when you need it. And I think that's another reason I love the Tower card, because people dread it. I love it because it means change is going to happen. You're going to make changes, and you're going to get support from the universe to put those changes into place. So that's the Tower in the Green Witch. I really love that one. And the Moon is a lady looking at the lake, and the moon's reflected, and it kind of reminds me of my garden, because I've got the pond and you get the moon, and there's no leaping salmon, which I think is instead of the crayfish there. But I love that card because it does remind me of me in my garden. And then the 5 of Pentacles is very traditional, but it's all snowy and wintry. And there's the fires in the background. And this card reminds me of when I was a little kid. We used to walk home, and we didn't really have a kind of whole family like mum and dad and everything. We had a lovely family, my mum and my sister and I, and we lived with various people who brought us up, older people, but used to look in everyone's windows. We had a really long walk home, a few miles in the dark, and see all the lights on. And this reminds me of that, the lights on in the distance. But we were outside, and I always wanted to be in there by the fire, being with those families and part of it. I think that's one thing I love about the 5 of Pentacles. And then the last deck I'd chosen from is a Bohemian Gothic deck. And this 5 of Pentacles I especially love because, again, this is a life experience for me. When you're a single mother, you're really on the outside. It's bloody hard. I've been a single mother for over 12 years, and it's a really hard thing to do. The whole world is on your shoulders. The weight of your kids' lives are on your shoulders. Everything's on you. And you go and you see couples and families, and you just feel so lonely and so out in the cold. And I'm going through some of this with my daughter at the moment, who is a very young mother and a single mother, and feeling that pain again for her. But this is just getting tearful now. Hang on. Okay. This is really sorry. It tells the story of the Five of Pentacles perfectly. And then we've got the Tower and the Lightning and the Gargoyle. And I love old English churches and medieval buildings and European churches. And gargoyles are quite a big thing about them. But they actually are there to scare off evil. And sometimes there's water spouts. And I just love this. I just like this card. It's very powerful. And the darkness and the lightning. It's a bit like the Wild Hunt again. And then we've got the moon. With the wolf. Well, he's a dog, husky, I think, but the wolf dog calling up at the moon, and I love wolves. And she just concentrating on the moon, and there's this person in the distance. And I often feel like the mood that she's in when I'm looking at the moon. So those are my favourite cards. Oh, there's one more. One of my all-time favourite pieces of art on a card is the Seven of Pentacles by Patrick Valenza, the Deviant Moon one. I've got a big print of it on my altar that I got from him, a big giggly print. I just love this card, this little witch who's learning her trade and doing her spells. So those are my favourite cards or favourite art. And question 31, what will you not do a reading about? Where do you draw the line? Probably the same as everyone else would say, really. Health things, health issues. I'd read for emotional health. Like, you know, if I thought someone needed to do, if I saw something in the cards that meant that they needed to do something to improve their emotional life, their happiness, I would go ahead and say it. That wouldn't really bother me. I wouldn't say go and take some Prozac or go and get stoned or something like that. But I'd, you know, if there were actions that they could do, wouldn't want to do any diagnosis or prescribing, obviously. No one would. I wouldn't read if it involved breaking another person's privacy, things like that. Again, there's other ways you can read some things, like if someone's in a relationship and they want to know if their partner is being faithful or something like that. Instead of looking at it that way, you can actually change it. So you ask, is this relationship good for me? And bring it back to the querent, or rather than trying to invade someone else's spiritual or whatever you call it, privacy. I wouldn't read for anyone who was highly intoxicated or young. I would do it for fun, in a very fun way, but not seriously. In case they take on too much. I wouldn't want to be responsible for anything like that. And I wouldn't really want to predict the weather either, so in a tarot reading. But so those are the things, and that's it. That's 31 days of tarot, all cut and dried. I'm just going to go back to the first video. My two cards I chose for January were, I think I got the Hierophant and the Six of Swords, which I got from my Wheel of the Year spread. I did that at the first day one. That was my reading. In the first video, I chose from that spread, and now January is at an end, and we had the Six of Swords, which I call the airport card, as I mentioned, and it's been a very Six of Swords month. There's been a lot of goodbyes, a lot of coming and going, a lot of moving around, being in different places. I've flown up to Wellington and back twice. Lots of Six of Swords stuff, lots of heartache and looking back, and then, you know, trying to look forward. And the Hierophant, well, again, some of that's about order and stuff, and I thought I needed a bit more order in my life. So I actually, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll know I'm very proud of the fact that I reorganised my larder, and I've been procrastinating over it for about 10 years, and I do a little bit and then give up. But I did it from start to finish, cleaned everything, chucked out the crap, totally reorganised it, found my wise woman tea, and I've just been cleaning and washing all my little treasures that I keep on my kitchen dresser. but they're all collect dust. It's got open shelves and no doors, and every few months I have to take everything off and clean it and wash it, but I haven't actually done it. It's been such a busy year with Blue and everything, and I probably haven't done it for 6 months or more. So I've done that in the last 2 days too. So all is well and as it should be. So thank you if you've been watching my videos. I've got some more planned. I really want to do a slow hollow video because although it's new, I'm in love with that deck. And maybe I'm going to talk about my journey with the Marseille too. I'm looking forward to Marseille in March, which Kelly from The Truth in Story and I think Artsy are hosting on YouTube. And yeah, so have a fantastic February. And again, I'll put links below. Look at the Gaia challenge if you're struggling with the dreams of Gaia on Instagram. And they have some great challenges on Instagram, actually, that you can learn a lot from. I just want to thank all of you in the community who shared your 31 days of tarot. I'm still looking at them and catching up on people's. I think I've got up to, the people I follow, I think I've got up to, which is quite a lot, I've got up to about day 20, maybe 23 or 4 on most of them now, so I'm ploughing on. And yeah, thanks for sharing, thanks for it all, and yeah, fantastic February. Bye bye.